I'd like to re-emphasize some key points that my partner Christian and I have made, as well as refute the viewpoint of the advocates supporting this proposition. In addition to what Christian and I have already stated, climate change is an ongoing natural process, as it is the release of greenhouse gases to the atmosphere. We do not deny that human activities contribute to warming. We only ask how much they contribute to warming. Thomas Crowley, in the journal Science in the year 2000, published a statement claiming that between 41 and 64% of global warming that occurred before the year 1850 was in fact attributed to things such as solar irradiance and volcanic activity, which are two natural processes that release massive amounts of greenhouse gases into the environment. Since this is true, how will reduction targets be met if science cannot specifically pinpoint how much of the gases concentrated in the atmosphere today are the direct result of human activity? In terms of health effects, we would also like to restate that carbon dioxide has not been proven to have ill effects on health. The advocates of this bill would have you believe that all greenhouse gases, including carbon dioxide, are equally harmful to human health, when in fact, the most dangerous gases have already been capped and regulated. As was previously mentioned, the federal government has already taken measures, beginning in the 70s, to tighten the restrictions on those pollutants most dangerous to human health. Beginning in the 90s, under the Clean Air Act, society reaps the benefits of these restrictions on sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides, two less common but far more harmful greenhouse gases. The highest concentration of greenhouse gas in the atmosphere today is carbon, which is not in any way comparable to more dangerous gases and therefore should not be treated in the same way. In terms of cap and trade workability, the opposition claims that the lessons learned from the failures of the EU system would inform U.S. policy, but we believe that the ACES bill would simply replicate the same mistakes witnessed in Europe, because both policies offer corporate handouts. According to a report published in The Economist, the cap and trade program under the ACES proposal would have given away 85% of carbon permits for free, with only 15% being auctioned. This would have harmed the federal budget and would have given permits to favored industries, such as electrical utility companies. According to Annie Leonard, author of The Story of Stuff, the EU system is proof that cap and trade does not work. In Europe, where a cap and giveaway system was attempted, value of permits bounced around, energy costs jumped for consumers, and carbon emissions actually increased. The provisions of ACES does not address this and doesn't change the giveaway policy from the EU system. We also have reason to believe that carbon markets would be plagued by unscrupulous intermediaries. In the Friends of the Earth report that I previously cited, carbon could be the world's biggest commodity market, leading to a speculative bubble. Intermediaries might over-guarantee offset projects by selling future credits based on projects that do not exist. Annie Leonard also claims that the danger of offsetting is that carbon is being removed to create a permit. The permit is given and dispensed with real money. The factor of accountability is crucial to ensure that cap and trade would work as planned, yet there is no actual way to account for offsetting in every detail, and the incentive to cheat would be enormous. The same report also found that players in carbon finance markets would succumb to conflicts of interest, similar to how credit rating agencies helped design complex structured finance projects and then rated them. Consulting firms offering advice on developing carbon offset projects could earn fees for verifying emissions reductions, effectively creating a racket. One other point that my opponents brought up was the cost to consumers, and I'd like to mention that cap and trade would penalize American consumers with a tax. According to Martin Fieldstein of the Washington Post, the CBO Congressional Budget Office recently estimated that increases in consumer prices would raise the cost of living for typical households for about $1,600 a year, and the price to ordinary households would be extreme. And another fact is that the ACES failed to pass because senators were hesitant to price carbon, and this is according to the Washington Post. And the House passed the bill, was perceived as an energy tax in disguise that would have hurt U.S. consumers and created a financial commodity subject to manipulation. Based on this evidence, I hope I have presented a convincing argument against the necessity of adopting a cap and trade policy. There is no conclusive scientific evidence that traces all greenhouse gases to their sources, so it would be difficult to establish clear targets nationally. It would also be difficult to enforce corporate compliance, since the incentive to evade regulations would be great. Rather than risk the behavior that would result from making carbon trading profitable, The federal government should not allow a national cap and trade system, but rather should continue to entrust states to enact legislation that would produce the same long-term benefits as those stated in the bill.